How can you not be disciplined on it?
If I didn't put in that work and if I wasn't disciplined for the first 12 months, it wouldn't have been it.
You ain't got time to lie in bed.
To get good at something, you just need to consistently do it over and over again.
Consistency.
It's key.
It's key.
That's why I don't give a damn. Welcome back. It's very flat.
A thump.
Yeah, very flat. Welcome back, baby. Episode 21.
21
in the best podcast on the flipping universe, ether, realm, space, time, warp, continuum, everything. Galactica. Right? Best episode, and we're back, baby, and we're better. Episode 21. Chat to me, my bro.
Yes. We are back. Yeah, all good, man. All good. Feeling fresh.
Yeah?
Feeling good.
You're looking
I want to
fresh.
say, bro,
Yeah.
I have to shout you out.
Okay.
Like, guys, this guy here is multi-talented. I done something really bad this week.
Okay.
Really, really bad, man.
Okay.
Cheated on my barber, man.
Ras.
I cheated on my barber, but I'm still looking fresh. And that's down to this man over here. Came to my yard, touched me up, gave me a fade. Yeah, you did bits still.
Thank you, my bro. Appreciate it. Thank you for
Yeah,
the flowers. Don't shout me. I'm not cutting hair by that.
I was going to say, that's another business venture, 6 figures.
No. Just
all
for friends
good,
and fam.
man.
Just for friends and fam. No, I appreciate that, my bro.
So, yes.
So, welcome back to the Unplug Podcast, as always. And in this podcast, we're always about supporting people from unplugging from the matrix and societal norms.
Mm-hmm. So we are here for the entrepreneurs, the dreamers, the rebels who are not about fitting in.
Yes.
We don't want to fit in. We want to be your one, the
highest version of oneself.
and we can't do that fitting in. So we are
Absolutely.
here to help you unplug from everything.
Anything and everything. Anything and everything.
that is holding you back.
Yeah. Literally.
So-
But cool, my bro. Got a spicy one for you today on a Would You Rathers, right? And guys, as well, as always, please in the comments, let me know if there's a specific Would You Rather that you think I should give a shout out to or say on the pod. Now, would you rather restart your life with all the knowledge you have now, or get £10 million today but never be able to start a business again? So basically, right, you can restart your life now with all the knowledge you have and take advantage of all that information, but you literally have to restart your life from, like, let's say the age of like 10, right? Do it all over again. Obviously, you have the advantage to do whatever you want. Or like now, you can get £10 million today, but with that £10 million, you can't do business, you can't get into property, you can't do anything like that. You can't,
See, yeah, I think it's an easy one for me.
Yeah?
I think money's great, but for me, it's really not everything, bro. Like, I like being active. I think, obviously, I'm working towards, retirement in the next 10 years or so.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I enjoy what I do. I enjoy the hustle and bustle. I enjoy the grind. I enjoy, like, working towards something. And I think when you've got just money and you've got nothing to do, you get bored.
Yeah.
It's like, now what? So I think, yeah, I would definitely go back. I think I spoke about this in previous episodes.
Yeah.
It would allow me to make better choices, better decisions, and probably get to where I'm trying to get to now a lot quicker or more efficiently.
Yeah.
Is the word. So yeah, I think for me that was quite an easy one that I just, I'm all about, I'm an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
So if I can't set up business and do this, what am I doing? What am I actually doing?
Yeah.
I'm bored.
Yeah.
I'm going to get lazy. I'm going to just lose all momentum. Like, I have no need to get up in the morning. Like, it's just, there's no purpose, basically.
No, I'm with you on
So
that.
for me, anyway,
I think I read into this a lot more deeply, I reckon, because I literally took it as like I physically need to endure all the events, like, because obviously, you're going to be changing some stuff, but like probably say like 60%, and there's only so much you control. Again, remember, like, you're going to be starting from the ages of 10, right? So there's only so much like impact that you can actually do, but until like you become like a young adult or something like that, like 16 to 18. So I just feel like still having to endure everything, like waking up knowing that, okay, go on now, I need to go to school. Like, imagine like everything you know today, but you're still like, you're doing your GCSEs, bro.
Yeah, but then you'd be flying, bro.
I know, but I feel like it was just more the time element. But in the same breath, I'm also like, bruv, I can't just wake up and do nothing.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like I'm very much like you. I do like the hustle and bustle. I do like work and I like to be kept busy. And it's so funny as well, like even like when I was cutting your hair as well, we had the conversation of like, bro, what is the one thing you would do for the rest of your life? Remember? And I'll say mine and you can say yours. But I said like, for me, I'll just cut hair. Like I do actually enjoy, I do enjoy cutting hair. Like if money was not an option, like one thing I'll do for the rest of my life is just cut hair. I find it very, 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 very therapeutic. I find it like it's an art form. I'm not naturally like a creative person, like per se, like drawings and etc. and that form of creation anyway. But I just like it. I enjoy the process from start to finish. I enjoy talking to people. And like it, just like again, I'm using my hands, right? But yeah, honestly, I know you said something like very, very interesting.
Yeah, I think for me, I would just want to keep learning. So like learn an instrument, a language, probably set up a charity, that type of thing. Yeah, charity to help like young entrepreneurs get into business.
No, definitely.
That's something I'd want to do. But I'm going to go back quickly. The reason why I'd go back, because I feel now I have the responsibilities that I have now. I feel like I would have enjoyed my youth a lot more. Like when you're 10, bro, you got no responsibilities.
Yeah,
like you literally get up, go to school,
Literally.
you come home, your clothes are washed, there's food on the table.
Literally.
You literally have nothing to worry about or think about other than not getting yourself killed. Do you get what I mean? Like, bro, you're 10.
Yeah.
Like, you're good.
Yeah. What can you
Getting
get up to?
taken on holiday and hair and that.
You don't even know what bills are.
Yeah, you don't know what bills
You
are.
don't know what taxes.
You know, so yeah, you don't know what real responsibility is. And I miss those days, bro. Like, I carry a lot of weight on my shoulders, bro. Like, I actually miss those days. So it'd be quite nice to go back and just relive some of that. Yeah.
Oh, that's a different perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just that's a new lens to think about it, or a different perspective, or an alternative perspective to think. But I would not have thought of it like that. And one thing for me is like I definitely think like I just grew up way too fast. I don't think I enjoyed my youth as much, or my earlier youth as much as I was just working. Should have paid a bit more. Should have gone on more trips. Like I denied like school trips. I denied like holidays, like everything, fun. You know what I mean? But yeah, again, hindsight, as we said,
It's a beautiful
thing, man.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing.
But yes, so
What have you got for
the
us today?
topic of discussion today is discipline is greater than motivation. So I want to talk about what does kind of, motivation look like for you versus, say, discipline. Because I think they're very different. Motivation is, feeling a certain way and it's quite fleeting. You know what I mean? Whereas I feel discipline is, I'll go into it. I'll give you my views. But I want to speak about, like I said, just share what we both think motivation is, share what we both think discipline is, and also maybe touch on how both are looked upon amongst society. So, let's chop it up.
Okay,
So, my man, what does define motivation for you in the most succinct way possible?
Without looking at ChatGPT or asking Siri, I think motivation.
Describe when you feel motivated.
I feel like, in my simplistic terms, motivation, and I might jump in ahead of myself and talk about discipline slightly, but I feel like motivation feels like more from the heart and discipline feels like it's coming from the mind.
Okay, I like that.
From my perspective.
Elaborate.
So motivation feels a lot more passive, right? It's like love, like it's a feeling, right? An urge per se, right? But like, and I know we'll go into discipline in a second, but just staying more so on motivation. It's like a feeling, like I'm motivated due to the feeling and emotion of love to take care of my family and my loved ones, right? It motivate, like it's a core focus.
I'm laughing because I was thinking the minute someone like gets on your nerves, you don't feel like that anymore.
Literally, exactly. Yeah, literally. So yeah, again, it's very
fleeting.
Yeah.
It's
very unstable. Yeah. It's like even like love in itself. Like, I don't want to get on that topic, but like, yeah, like it's very like let's not get into that. But like, yeah, it's fleeting. I think that's
a
the best
whole
way.
other podcast,
Literally, bro. Literally, that's a version
Relationship
V2,
podcast.
bro. You know what I mean? This is all them pink and, you know what I mean? But yeah, I feel like, yeah, motivation for me, like, it's fleeting. It's an emotional type of drive that sort of ebbs and flows, you know, personally, my
No, I
perspective.
like that. I think, I was going to say for me, motivation is, like you said, it's a feeling. It comes like in short bursts.
Yes.
So you could watch something, hear something, someone say it and then feel motivated.
Yes.
And then like 24 hours later, you're no longer motivated. So like we said, it's very fleeting. Whereas versus discipline, I feel like discipline is it's a way of life.
Yes.
It's a commitment that you've made regardless of how you feel.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah. So I think that's kind of the main difference for me. I wanted to ask you early on in your journey, kind of where you felt motivated.
From like like what, just
or let me rephrase that. Maybe share what you think motivation meant to you in your early journey. Obviously, you're older now, you're wiser, you have a more mature perspective on the topic of matter. But from an earlier age, what do you think motivation meant for you? Maybe in school, maybe in college, maybe as a real like young child. What did
looking at motivation by itself or motivation in comparison to discipline?
Just by itself.
Okay. I feel like looking back now, I very, very much confused my motivation with discipline. Back then, I had zero discipline. Zero discipline. You can't even ask me. You could ask me when the first happened, but it wasn't back then. I had zero discipline. And I thought my motivation was my discipline. But now looking back, as you said, like I'm a lot more wise, I'm a lot more smart. It's like, why was my motivation like this? Because there was no discipline. It was just whenever I felt like it. And I'll probably say the earliest example is when, you know, I think, like I said, I always wanted to be like a lawyer. I thought I wanted to be a lawyer, right? And that was because, again, I'd watch Suits or Law and Order, and I felt like, flipping, oh, that looks good. I'm good at talking. I do acting, I do theatre.
It's cool.
It looks cool. You know what I mean? So like that motivated me to, you know, go and do an apprenticeship in law. And every single time I woke up to the apprenticeship, I was like, calling in sick. Don't want to go in. Leaving early. They're calling me saying, Freeman, it's been 2.5 hours. Your lunch break's 30 minutes. Like, oh, sorry, I lost track of time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just wasn't, you know.
Wasn't feeling it.
I wasn't feeling it. So I probably say that was like my earliest form of what I thought was motivated. Like I was motivated to, you know, become a lawyer. Like I looked at loads of things online and courses and universities and school to go to. But like it was never, looking back, it was never something like I truly sort of aligned myself with. But I probably say that's like furthest early on for me.
I think for me, my first probably, like my first insights to what motivation looks like. I'm going to go over what it looked like for me is that I had a friend and he was very, very good at football. And he was motivated to play football. Like he would be in his garden with cones, going in and out. Like, bro, where's my man? Oh, he's at home training. Where's my man? He's He was motivated. But I feel like when it really mattered, he didn't lack the discipline to see it through. So he, like I said, was very good at football, got into a very big club. I'm not going to name the club, I'm not going to name the person. And it's like, once his motivation like disappeared, there was no discipline to go to training, to go to matches. And I kind of just stood on the sideline because I wasn't as good as him. He was very good. And I'm thinking, why is this guy so motivated? Like it almost inspired me. And I always felt like to be successful, you just got to be motivated. You just got to have the right mindset. And obviously, back then I was about maybe 10, 11. I'm like, okay, this guy, where's he got this motivation to just want to be? And then it transpired like later on in life, he didn't have the discipline to actually see it through. So I think like motivation, where I'm going with this, motivation kind of gets you started, but discipline allows you to kind of
continue.
See it through. And I feel if you, don't have what's really needed, then discipline, then
it's a bit of like a formula, isn't it? It's a formula. Yeah, I quite like that. Yeah, it's motivation times discipline equals success.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, would you say, was there a moment when you kind of realized that motivation wasn't enough to maybe succeed your dreams, your goals?
Yeah,
like
and
just being motivated.
Yeah,
Because a lot of people are motivated. A lot of people be on Instagram going through reels, see like one of them inspiring Instagram reels, and I'm motivated. And then 30 seconds later, or a minute later, they're now binging a Netflix series, bro.
Yeah, no, literally. I think, again, going back to some of my examples, thinking I wanted to be a lawyer, I was very, very much motivated, but I had no discipline behind it. I didn't want to read any of those courses. I didn't show up for any of the open days. I didn't go into any of the taster sessions. Even when I was like an intern, I didn't have to just have me like some admin stuff. I was like, bro, I just can't wait to go on lunch. You know what I mean? Like, it was just it was very fleeting, like you said. But then when I watch Suits and I see flipping Harvey on there, or see one of the lawyers, like flipping, oh yeah, I want to do this in court. And then, it just wasn't something that I wanted, I truly wanted. And if I did truly want it, I would have disciplined myself to achieve it. So again, it's like I didn't need it, I just think I wanted it. And if I needed it, I would have disciplined myself to actually be able to achieve it. And that was the thing, you know? So I think that was probably, say, like the earliest conception for me, where I felt like, my motivation was I thought my motivation was discipline, but in actuality it wasn't. And I didn't have no discipline. I had no care or need or want in the world to be able to actually achieve it.
And just, I think for me, kind of adding, when I think about the two, I think when you're motivated, you do stuff. And I've realized in life that you can't just do stuff when you feel like doing it. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like when you're motivated, like everything's like perfect, right? Everything's right, like your ducks are lined up, you're in a good mood. But anyone could do anything when they're in a good mood. It's, can you do stuff or get stuff done when you're kind of not in the mood? Like when you actually don't really feel like it, like your energy is off, but we're still kind of pushing through whether we feel like it or not. And I think that's kind of, I think motivation is pushed a lot, I think, for me on social media. I get motivated, pump people up, but there's not really much out there about discipline. Like how do you, and I think something I struggled with very much. So I think up to this day, you know, I've got better over the years, but like you said, I lack discipline. And I just, where do you think the lack of discipline comes from? Like when you look at maybe when you weren't disciplined, where do you think that lack of it comes from?
Looking back, I think you need to give discipline also opportunity, right? If it's to be able to wake up, as you know, one of our episodes, waking up early for success, to even be able to act of waking up early, you need to go to bed early. So if you do not give yourself an opportunity to even be disciplined, how on earth do you think you will be disciplined? If I want to go to the gym to look nice and have a good physique, and I'm eating rubbish, I'm not giving myself an opportunity to be clean, looking nice and ripped and etc. So I don't think I gave myself an opportunity to be disciplined, right? I never put myself in an environment or in a circle or, you know, is inspired through education, knowledge, reading books to be disciplined. So I think for me anyway, personally, and that might sound like a bit of a practical step, but I might be jumping ahead. But again, simply, I didn't give it any opportunities because I just didn't think I needed it. You know, I wanted it, right? And that was my motivation, I suppose, which I thought was discipline, but I didn't give myself an opportunity to actually be disciplined. And with that is, I think massively for me, was like routine, planning, preparation. It's very, very sort of like reactive with a lot of my early life. Very reactive. Whatever happens, happens. You wake up, I show up, and that's it. I wasn't proactive. I wasn't planning anything. There was no routine. There was no structure. And a big thing about discipline is routine and structure. It's rigid. Discipline is rigid. Motivation isn't.
Yeah, you have to. And I think I always say this thing. It's like you can't be disciplined in one area in your life and think like you're going to be disciplined in other areas. Or, you're disciplined in this, but you're not disciplined in your eating.
It's a blanket
or
effect.
this. Yeah, you're either a disciplined person
or you're not.
And I just think, that motivation, like I said, it's waiting for you to feel a certain way before you act. And like we know, any successful person will tell you that you have to be disciplined. Discipline is just pushing through regardless. Like even us, we've been disciplined enough at times when we don't feel like it to be here. Like you might not feel like you want to be here right now, bro. But you're still here. Like you're seeing it through. So I think, and that's why I just kind of wanted to bring it to the table about why discipline, you know, is greater than motivation and just people need to understand that, to kind of go to those heights. Because I'm around people, you're probably around people, you hear people say, oh, yeah, I'm going to do this, and they're in this great mood, and you ask them a week later, oh, what's going on with that?
Story.
They're no longer motivated.
Yeah, that's it.
They're no longer motivated.
That's
they don't feel like they want to do it anymore. So, I think for me, like I said, most successful people kind of say to you, you have to act regardless. And I think, like I said, that we don't. So, yeah.
No, I really, really like that. And I'm just sort of drawing back to sort of like a more recent time where I felt like I've been extremely disciplined. So this is sort of like the start when we was looking into our digital products, right? And I think you sort of pitched this. That's it. Okay, Freeman, cool. I think we need to get into this space, right? Of X, right? And we started this in Jan, and literally, I'll never forget it. It's like we're sitting in your house, round table, had our laptops out at like 10 p.m. at night, the whole fam, and we're just researching, just conversations, just troubleshooting. Okay, you want to do this? Why do you want to do this? Why do you think it's going to be a good idea? This. All right, cool, guys. This time, by the end of January, we want to have a first draft. And we had a first draft. So, yeah, we were motivated to do this, but we had the discipline to follow our structure of what we wanted to do. And every single week, so, cool, bro, what's your progress? What have you been up to? Yeah, I just filmed this. I just did this. I just did that. And then now to look back and we've actually done it, and it's live and it's set up and we've seen some success with it. I was like, flipping out. We actually saw out to do something, planned it, executed it, and we're disciplined throughout every single period where we probably didn't want to do it, all the way to the end.
And some people will ask, like, how did you manage to do that?
I think it's funny enough.
How are you able to push through? Sorry to interrupt you. How are you able to push through and do things even when you don't feel like doing them? Or you're just not in the mood?
I think massively one thing was my environment, my circle. You were also doing, I also even have one of my friends who's also looking to do as well. Like, so we could always sort of rub off of each other's ideas. And I was in a conducive environment that ensured my success in this endeavor, right? And maybe perhaps whenever you were having a bit of a down day and you saw, okay, well, yeah, bro, I've really got my first, okay, flipping, I've got to put my finger out now. You know what I mean? So I feel like just being in an environment or a circle that was conducive to success, to our end goal massively helped me to stay disciplined, plus planning and structure. So within my week, I would say, okay, cool. On Mondays and Tuesdays, I'm going to dedicate 3 to 4 hours to this. Like, I'm going to put my phone off on D&D. And I've even been telling you of like a recent, like somebody's like, bro, like, if I call you, can't
trying to call you
trying
for
to call me, can't get through
3-4 hours.
I said, bro, I've been living on D&D. If I need focus hours of just, I need to do.
Do not disturb, by the way.
Do not disturb, yeah. Do not disturb. If I need focus hours between X, Y, and Z, I'm on do not disturb. You cannot get through to me unless if you're like family and whatever.
I thought I was family, bro.
I've added you to the list. I said that today. I've added you to the list. It's official.
He says that I called him this morning, couldn't get hold of it.
But you know what I mean? But like, yeah, I feel like, yeah, just planning massively. And I feel like you will. And obviously another thing as well, discipline, sticking to that plan is another thing as well.
Yeah.
But you can obviously go around this in so many circles.
I think for me, why I've been able to, and I know obviously I've not made as much progress as I would have liked, but on anything you start, there's going to be setbacks, but the key is just to keep going and going, right? But I think the minute you set out something you want to achieve, and you know by achieving it will change your life, how can you not be disciplined on it? How can you not? Like, you know, if I work on this for the next 12 months, 6 months, 9 months, it's going to change my life. Like, you have to try and draw some inspiration from somewhere. And if you can't, you know, draw inspiration from changing your life, then you're never going to draw inspiration. So I think for me, that's why I've been able to kind of stick at it. Because people ask, there are days, like pretty much every day, I'm tired. I don't want to do anything. But I know the big goal, the aim, you know, what we're trying to achieve. So it kind of helps for those of you asking. I feel like sometimes we talk about things, people are like, so what about you?
Yeah.
How did you do it?
Yeah.
You know, so I kind of want to get more into that. I want to maybe talk about how discipline has changed our lives. So in you now adopting being a bit more disciplined, and we're not perfect. There are times where,
don't want to do some
like
stuff.
I said, I ain't been gym for 2 weeks, so I'm lacking discipline now. But the key is kind of just pulling it back. Where would you say in your life discipline, adopting the habit of discipline changed for you?
I'll probably say in the early days of my business. The early days of my business where, like for those of you who don't know, obviously, me and John, we have a property management business specializing in the short-term rental space. And in my first year of business, I didn't even have a lead. For a whole year of trying to get my first property, I didn't even get a maybe. I went to hundreds of viewings. I spoke to thousands of agents and landlords, and I didn't get anything. And motivation alone wouldn't have been able to get me to where I am today. I had to be in discipline. I thought, call Freeman, you need to do your 50 phone calls. You need to do your 100 phone calls today. I've just had like 40 no's. And I've got work. And I've got a meeting. And
You're probably tired,
and
bro.
I'm knackered. Is this even going to work? Am I in the right lane? I could have veered off. One whole year, not a single, how much money I spent. I'd go all the way to Coventry or Birmingham for a viewing. Landlord don't turn up. Estate agent don't turn up. Oh, how long has your business been running? 8 months. Oh, sorry, no. You need minimum 2 years accounts. Not a single lead, not even a single maybe, right? And those of you who don't know,
sniff.
not even a sniff of like an element of success at all. And those of you who don't know who are sort of joining in for the first day, so John and I both run property management business, specializing in the short-term rental space, where we service like working professionals on a short-term basis. And when I first got into this business, again, no mentoring, no support, like no sort of formal education. Again, everything just sort of self-taught with me and my business partner. And when we're trying to find our first property to obviously take to market, to obviously now try and service our clientele, I would go on viewings, landlords and estate agents wouldn't show up. I called thousands of people. I went to hundreds of viewings, nothing. I would drive all the way to Birmingham after a long day of work, and I'll go there and the estate agent wouldn't turn up. Or I would get there, he sounds like, yeah, it sounds quite promising. And then he said, okay, so how long have you been running? 8 months. Oh, sorry, you need minimum 2 years accounts. I would not be here alone today if it was just for motivation. I needed this.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would always say to editors, like, bro, like, if we don't get it, I will simply perish. Every single day that I turned up for the first 12 months of our business, I was like, this is do or die. There was times of doubts, like there was fear of failure. There was so many of this, but I had to continuously discipline myself to, okay, cool, Freeman, you need to do your 100 calls today. I've had 40 no's, but Freeman, you need to keep on pushing. You need to keep on doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had to. Like it came to a point, we were even saying, okay, cool, we're searching, we're trying to do some stuff. We'll even pay people thousands of pounds to find us properties. Still nothing. Still nothing. Right? But again, we had to continuously be persistent. And then literally on our 12th month, we set up our business in August 2021. And by July, we viewed, and August we signed. 2022, our first ever property deal. Like flipping off finally. And then from there, it was literally just a snowball effect.
Mm-hmm. And
all the phone calls, all the viewings, all the estate agents I've been speaking to for the last 12 months, they all started flowing and they started knowing, now I'm sexy.
Now everyone wants to know. That's always the case. So when you're no one wants to know. No one wants to help.
Yeah.
When you need help.
Yeah.
But when you don't need the help, everyone wants to help.
In abundance. Now I'm turning down properties. You know, now it's if I can't do the viewing, I can't do the viewing. Like now I'm in a very, very privileged position.
Mm-hmm.
I would have loved to be in, but again, if I didn't put in that work and if I wasn't disciplined for the first 12 months, wouldn't have been it.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't have been it.
Cool. I'm just going to I think for me, one of, or how discipline has kind of changed my life is that I'm disciplined. I wouldn't even call myself a disciplined person because like I said, I think you're only a disciplined person if you're disciplined in all areas of your life. Obviously, not perfect, but maybe not all areas, but the majority. And I still feel I still lack a little bit of discipline. So I'm not going to be a hypocrite and call myself a fully disciplined person. But I think one of the habits that I've been able to adopt through discipline is waking up early.
You do that very well.
Like it doesn't even matter what time I go to sleep. Like I can get up early, bro. And I think adopting that has helped me to learn what discipline is, what it looks like, what it feels like, and develop the mindset and mentality that you can't just feel motivated. Like anyone can feel motivated to wake up in the morning when they know they've got a flight to catch to Dubs. Yeah. But can you still feel that same way when you haven't? Yeah, like in being able to build that discipline, waking up every day, it kind of just helped train my mind. Like my mind is quite tough. Like I could go to bed at 2 and still be able to get up because I'm just so disciplined to get up early in the morning.
When did you sort of inherit that? What was the epiphany? What was the moment?
I think I've always had that, you know, and I think that's come from my parents. Like growing up as a young child, my parents never got up late.
Oh, wow.
My mum was up early. So it's kind of a thing in my household that we don't lie in bed. Like, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with lying in bed, by the way. I'm just saying when you got things to do, you ain't got time to lie in bed. And I think for me, you know my life, bro. Yeah. I ain't got time to, I don't know what a lying is. So I had to adopt and be quite disciplined around just, getting up early and getting ahead of the day before the day gets ahead of me. And it's really helped because I find I get a lot more done. I feel a lot more productive and I don't feel like I'm chasing. I don't really feel like I'm chasing really the day, good, man. Really so I think, it's helped kind of build momentum for me as well, like in other things like going to the gym and just doing things when I don't want to do. I always say this to you, my thing is that I'm training my mind to do the things that my body don't want to do. You know, once you can kind of conquer the mind, you can conquer anything. And I think discipline is probably step one to conquering the mind.
That's really cool.
So I'm going to ask you a question. What's one thing you're doing today to build discipline?
One thing I'm doing today to do this. Ask me a question, please.
What's one thing you're doing today in your life, your everyday life, to help you build discipline?
I think planning and preparation. I alluded to it a bit earlier in this episode and even in previous episodes. I feel like I've been allowing external factors and people to take control of my time and my day. And I need to build people around my life as opposed to building my life around them. Some
would say that's quite selfish.
Self-care.
What would you say?
I said I don't give a damn. You know what I mean? But like, I feel, and obviously, circumstantially, right? So, but like in terms of just being the highest version of myself and looking to, my short to medium term goals, I think that's what I need to do because again, I can be a bit like a goldfish sometimes. I can just get distracted. Again, going back to sort of do not disturb, planning out my week, I just supposed to my day. So at least I've just got these focus sessions of things I need to do. So what I have been doing is like on a Sunday evening, I'll plan out my whole sort of Monday to Friday. I'll plan out my whole Monday to Friday in terms of what I need to do. And don't get me wrong, I'll probably say I get about 50 to 60% of it right, but the goal right now is to try and increase that percentage every single week. How can I, and then I want to be able to come up here and say, bro, I've had an excellent week. I've done every single thing I said I was going to do plus more, right?
Consistency.
It's key.
It's key. I think they so align together.
Oh yeah.
Discipline. And I think because once you can be disciplined, you can now be consistent. So they play very hand in hand, man.
For sure.
I think for me, what I'm trying to do, there's a few things I'm trying to do. That's probably why I'm not getting none of them done. But I'm obviously trying to read every day.
I haven't really lost that. I've lost that. I was reading a lot, but I've lost that.
Yeah, like again, if you can't be consistent in one thing, how are you going to be consistent in all the other important areas of your life? And I don't even think you need to be disciplined in everything, but there's going to be some key fundamentals that in order to elevate highest version of yourself, you're going to need to be disciplined in certain things. So it's just about figuring it out. But I think for me, trying to build discipline through reading, getting up every day, I'm going to spend half an hour reading, like elevating my mind, growing, learning new things, learning new words, learning things I didn't know that's going to help me move forward in this game of life. Do you know what I mean? So
100%.
That's really helped.
Sorry to interrupt, but like even throwing that back on you, so like what are you doing then to be able to achieve that form of discipline?
Saying I'm going to do it, writing it down.
Yeah, that's powerful. Writing
it down. I put alarms in my phone. Like my alarm will go off at 8:30. It's time to read.
Yeah.
10:30. It's time to go to bed. So I think being prompt, because like I always say as well, the mind is not designed to remember things. The design is very creative. So I always hear and read about the importance of writing things down or having things that you can kind of look at and reference. We're not designed to remember everything.
Literally.
So that's one thing I've been doing. And just saying to myself as well, bro, like, if you can't do what you said you're going to do, who are you? What type of person are you that doesn't do what they say they're going to do, even though you benefit from it?
Yeah. Flaky.
Like, how does that even make sense?
Yeah, you can't be trusted.
Yourself.
You can't be trusted. You can't trust yourself.
You can't trust yourself to do something that's going to help you better yourself.
Yeah, so imagine what you'd be like for someone else.
So, cool. 2 questions.
Go on.
Quick. A negative of not being disciplined
Mhm.
and a positive of being disciplined.
A negative, again, I'm going to be very, very sort of quick and selfish on this one. A negative of not being disciplined is, again, lacking and not allowing you to be the highest version of yourself in its simplest form. And I'm not just saying that because I know I just said it was a bit of a cheat one, but quite simply, it's progression. We've spoken about consistency. We've spoken about improvement, but you're like, and also like what you said as well in terms of trying to be powerful with your mind, or allow your mind to overcome the things that your body doesn't want to do as well. And by not you doing that, you are, you know, if there's like 10 versions of yourself, the 10th being the highest, you're just stuck at level 1, 2, 3, or 4. You know what I mean? And not, you know, sort of breaking new skin, for lack of better words, to become the highest version of yourself. And a positive, again, also being rich, you now become the highest version of yourself. So what does that mean? Is that you're now a way more useful resource to people, to yourself. You're now able to achieve new heights. You're now able to be in parts, in groups, in societies, and in circles of, like, you know, certain small percentages, the 1%, the 10%, right? You're now in conversations that you probably couldn't have been. You're now in groups that you probably couldn't have been. And you now can provide or live a life on your own terms. So now you dictate your next steps, as opposed to other aspects or extenuating factors doing that for you.
Yeah, or life just, dragging you around the place.
Literally.
You're not in control of
Like
your
a
life.
mop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Cool. I think for me, one of the negatives is that not being disciplined, you do everything off emotion. Everything is based off emotion, and that's a dangerous way to live your life. Like, you just do things when you feel like it. Like, who achieved anything great just doing things when they felt like it? Who?
No one.
Nobody, bro. So if you are not able to, if you're not disciplined, like I said, you base everything off how you feel.
Yeah.
And if you do that, you're not going to get very far in life. You're not going to become the highest version of yourself. You're not going to be able to elevate. You're not going to be able to live life on your terms. You're not going to be able to unplug from society norms. So, yeah. You just do things when you feel like it. And that mentality transcends into everything, you know? And then on the flip side, the positive of being disciplined is that you're more in control of your thoughts and your feelings. You control how you're more in control. You're more in control. Nothing doesn't really fake, like, you're in a zone. So you set out, this is what I'm set to do, and I'm going to do it no matter how I feel. You become serious. You have something you're working towards, because in order to be disciplined, you're being disciplined to achieve something, right?
Of course.
So yeah, it kind of helps you just be a bit more serious about life.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, 100%. Because it's like not a means to an end, but it's a goal. It's a goal, and the thing about, again, I know we spoke about formulas like motivation times discipline equals success, but, you know, if we now do a formula sort of like motivation times discipline times consistency, now you're superhuman. You're unstoppable. You're unstoppable. You're a problem. Imagine if you walk into a room or you walk into an environment, it's like, no one can beat me. I'm not going to stop until I do what I say I'm going to do. That's powerful.
Very much so.
Very, very powerful, right?
You're probably in that 1%.
You are that 1%.
That mindset, that mentality, that just, how you see life.
Yeah. Imagine if anything you ever wanted to do in life could be achieved if you just simply uttered it as like a sentence or a word. I'm going to be fit and you're fit. It's quite simply the same thing. You know, but you just got to put a bit of work.
You got to put the work in.
You got to put the work in. But yeah,
I like that. I like that. Cool. All right. So then to kind of wrap it up, what would you say maybe some little hacks, tips that you could say to our viewers on, you know, this is one thing, or maybe 2 things that you could maybe do to help you now adopt the trait of being this, or the characteristic of being a bit more disciplined?
I think what obviously helps you being a bit, I'd probably say my 2 is like definitely some form of motivation, because when you have, if your goal perhaps say it's like, to provide, maybe, I don't know, you're immigrant or you never had much when you sort of grow up, and so that's your motivation, that's your passion, that's from your heart, right? My motivation is to take care of my family, right? And now the discipline that I need to be able to achieve that goal or that my motivation is I now need to plan, I now need to prepare, and I need to set goals. And I need to be consistent with that. So again, it's sort of that formula of motivation times consistency times discipline will equal success, right? So in short, my practical steps is, obviously the passion is like, because obviously that discipline alone is okay, but it's like if you're just being disciplined for discipline's sake, it's almost a bit like a slave type thing, you know what I mean? It needs to be for a want, it needs to be for a need or something that's going to improve yourself, right? Or your family or for wherever it may be. So like there is always like a bit of, it stems from an emotion, and then obviously the consistency times the consistency times the discipline is what we call the success or the output that you want it to be or that you want to have. So again, if the goal is to, set up your salon or to set up your beauty shop or to set up your first business, right? Or to leave your job, right? If you're going to leave your job right now to set out to, achieve the goals of what you want to do and what you want to achieve, firstly, that is the passion. I want to leave my job. Cool. How are we going to do that? I need to set out some smart goals, some specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound goals, and I need to continually do them. As you say in Jim Jones, Jim Rohn, to get good at something, you just need to consistently do it over and over again, right? So you set out your goals, right? So you got your motivation, you got your goals, continuously do your goals, the things that you're going to do consistently, and the end product's there. And it's a circle. So I think that quite simply,
like that.
I say simply, there's a bit of graph behind it.
No, this is real though.
Yeah.
You can't paint it that what it's not. It's that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's really that, man. I think for me, discipline is something that you kind of have to grow. Like the majority of us are probably not disciplined. If we was to probably all, stand in a line, 10 people, how many out of that 10 people are real disciplinarians?
Yeah.
Like they are
David Goggins.
David Goggins type. Like obviously that's quite extreme. There needs to be a level of I'm serious, and I think a lot of us don't have that, and that's fine. And I just think we need to learn to grow it. So how do we grow it? We start small. So like I think for me, when I was like, all right, cool, I'm gonna try and build this trait of discipline. Let me start small. Let me read a book for 30 minutes, not an hour. Let me not get too carried away. Let me be realistic. Cool. 30 minutes. All right, Monday. Okay, cool. Tuesday, Wednesday, all of a sudden, week 1, bang. Read every day.
Yeah,
it sounds small, but I'm learning to build discipline.
Literally. Cool.
Week 2 comes around. Did it again. Now I can trust myself. I now do what I say I'm gonna do. Do you know what I mean? If you can't trust yourself, who can you trust, right? And I just think, it has to kind of make it a non-negotiable. And I think for me, and I'm sure like a lot of people do, we say things we want to do and achieve, but do we really? Are they a non-negotiable? Like, are they something that, damn, if I don't do this, this is going to ruin my life? And it sounds extreme, but God knows to elevate, it has to be extreme, bruv. You have to become the most extreme version of yourself. You know what I mean? So, in short, kind of start small. Something that you think, I would like to maybe work on that. Because like I said, you're going to build the momentum which is needed. And then, make it kind of a non-negotiable, man. I'm going to do this no matter what. So, and that's why it's got to be important.
Yeah.
Maybe a lot of people are not doing things that are important enough in their life.
Yeah.
Where it now becomes a non-negotiable.
And just even on that, I feel like a big thing is like, there are some of you out there who are like, perhaps you're in university or you're doing jobs maybe like influenced by your parents. I've got a lot of friends who, are even, want to study medicine or do accountancy. It's like, I failed uni, or wasn't able to achieve, or I can't get my job. Yeah, it's like, because the motivation, I feel like it still all stems from like the motivation to even do it in the first place. So like now, imagine if there's no passion behind what you're doing, how do you think you're going to be consistent to then be disciplined enough to even do what you need to do?
It's impossible.
Right? It's impossible. You know what I mean? So I feel like, like making it non-negotiable.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good one.
It's got to be important. It's got to be important. And like I said, I think things that have helped me is like alarm clocks, quite simply. Alarm goes off at 5, get up.
Yeah.
Get up. That's a reminder to stay disciplined. I don't get up at 5. I've now told myself I can't trust myself. You can't be trusted. You're saying stuff you're going to do and you're not doing it. Where's the integrity within yourself? Do you know what I mean? Like, seriously, it's got to be that deep. And I think the minute you can kind of build it up, it will help, man. It will help. It will help.
I like that.
It's needed. It's needed. So cool.
That was a good
episode.
That was a good one,
Discipline, man.
I was different.
Discipline.
Yeah, discipline's greater than motivation. I like that.
So, guys, this is the part of the episode that we call Plug Bites. This is where myself or Freeman brings out a quote, something we read, watched, something that just inspired us to become the highest version of ourselves. Like
They charge you for that one.
So, cool. I'll go first.
Go on.
My Plug Bite. So, this is by somebody who is known as the #1 habits guy.
Okay. I think I know.
He goes by the name of James Clear.
Big G.
1% better every day. And basically what James says is, we don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems. So, and I've tried to adopt this within my business, right? Before I used to write all these goals and things like that. But goals, again, like he says, you can lose motivation. It can become quite fleeting. Like, you don't want to rise to your goals. You want to fall to the level of our systems. And for me, when I hear that, I think our systems are how we do things. You know, how do your goal is to, I don't know, get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing to ensure that happens? It might be, well, I'm going to bed on time. I'm, you know, calming my mind down before I go to sleep so I can fall asleep on time. I've got a routine. Like, what are your systems to achieve your goals? But then you have to be disciplined on your system. So if you're saying you need to go to bed at 10:30, then so you can get up at 5, then you need to. But if you're not, then it's not going to work. So,
quite like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might need to implement that. Yeah,
yeah.
That's a really good one.
So that's my one.
Cool. My one. Cool. So my plug bite for today is taking a roll back. Aristotle.
Oh wow. Okay.
Taking a roll back, yeah. And it's a bit of a tongue twister. Hopefully I can get this out in one go. It says, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit.
Perfect.
So again, with that, just sort of bringing it all home, right? Simply being motivated isn't enough. We need to apply a form of consistency. And I believe even just like slight tangent, I think to make something a habit on average is about like something like 30 to 40 days for something to actually be a habit. So even that in itself is it doesn't take a lot. It doesn't really take a lot.
30 times.
30 times.
For it to become a habit.
You know, go to the gym 30 times, read a book 30 times. You know what I mean? For it to be a habit. So then again, like, for you to be successful in life isn't just by luck, isn't just by, you know, getting opportunities or working hard. It's just by making it a habit. Excellence is not an act, but a habit. Doing something continuously over again so it becomes a norm, it becomes part of your life, it becomes your culture, you know, effectively your internal culture that is just something that you do whenever and however, right? So I think sort of emulating that again into, again, those of you, you know, a lot of the audience I know are sort of like budding entrepreneurs. You're wanting to start something new. You're wanting to break the ice. Again, societal norms. You're wanting to look into leave your jobs, matrix, or whatever it may be. Just be consistent at it. Make it a habit and do it over and over again. And that is, you know, like it says there.
No, I like that.
Excellence.
Well, there you have it, guys. If you are basically waiting to feel ready, which a lot of people are, stop. Quite simply.
Literally.
Like, discipline doesn't care how you feel. Like, it's just about, it helps you to get closer and closer to whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. So forget about just being motivated and doing things when you feel like doing it. Like, try and adopt discipline, man. It will change your life, man.
Literally, guys. And just make sure like you're consistent at it. And again, going back to other episodes as well, so please make sure you watch them as well. Like, just your circle, your environment, your goals, your plans, your mindset, taking care of yourself. Again, these are all fundamental things to building strong habits and being disciplined, right? So yeah, guys, Oh, value. There's a lot of game in this one. We're getting technical now. So
Very,
you guys got
very much so.
Yeah,
We're getting deep.
Yeah.
2025, we're getting deep now.
Literally, so they gotta start keeping up. You gotta start keeping up. But you guys know this is a really, really good episode. So as always, please making sure you're liking, you're subscribing, you're sharing. Make sure you tell a friend, tell your mom, tell your dad, tell his mistress.
Jeez.
As always, guys.
Jeez.
As always, guys. Please, please, please. Love, love, love.
Elevate.